Think for a moment about the backbone of modern business communication. How quickly do you think that's evolving?
Oh, incredibly fast. It feels like light speed sometimes.
Right, it really does. Seems like just yesterday we were, talking traditional phone lines, and now everything is, well, it's in the cloud.
Pretty much, yeah.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something that's maybe quietly revolutionizing how businesses connect, cloud PBX systems.
hmm
And just quickly, for anyone maybe less familiar, PBX Private Branch Exchange, that's basically your internal phone network.
Your company's phone system, essentially,
Exactly. And Cloud PBX just means that whole system is hosted online.
which gives it incredible flexibility. That's the key part.
It is. So our mission today is to unpack this remarkable growth and the truly global reach of this Cloud PBX market.
It's huge.
Yeah, we're talking about massive shifts in how companies operate. And this whole exploration is powered by exclusive insights from a recent report by Cognitive Market Research.
A really detailed report.
It is. So, you know, get ready to gain a swift but pretty comprehensive understanding of this critical trend without getting too bogged down in like all the technical jargon.
When we say remarkable growth, we really mean it. The scale is, it's fundamentally transforming the business landscape.
Hmm.
This expansion isn't just significant, it's almost exponential.
Right.
And it has profound implications for how businesses, regardless of their size or location, will communicate and collaborate.
Definitely something you'll want to understand.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because the numbers here, the sheer scale, it's genuinely eye-opening.
It really is.
So the global cloud PBX market, it was valued at just over, $3.6 billion back in 2021?
That sounds right, yeah. It's around there.
And it's projected to surge past $6.2 billion by 2025.
Which is already impressive growth.
It is. But here's the kicker. By 2033, we're looking at an estimated $18.5 billion.
Wow. Okay.
That's a strong compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of nearly 14.6%.
Almost 15% year over year compounded.
That's not just growth. It's, like you said, a monumental transformation.
And what's fascinating here is why. Why is this boom happening?
Right.
Because these systems, they directly address really common business pain points.
Okay.
This isn't just about wanting shiny new tech. It's a direct response to this huge demand for agility and cost efficiency.
Makes sense.
Think about it. Imagine scaling a customer service team, say, from 10 to 100 agents almost overnight.
Yeah, or everyone suddenly working from home.
Exactly. Traditional PBX systems, they just couldn't handle that kind of rapid change or, that distributed workforce easily.
No way. Too rigid, too expensive to change quickly.
Right. But cloud-hosted infrastructures, they offer exactly that flexibility. Companies can adapt fast without the huge upfront investment and the maintenance headaches of the older systems.
So it's really about operational agility in a world that keeps changing faster and faster.
That's it precisely.
And it's not just like one or two tech hubs driving this growth. You said it's global.
Oh, absolutely. It's a truly global phenomenon.
So let's start our journey maybe in North America. Seems like they often lead in cloud adoption.
They do. It's a strong market there.
The report shows revenues climbing from $1.5 billion in 2021, projected to hit a remarkable $7.3 billion by 2033.
Wow.
That's growing at 14.1% CAGR. Very healthy.
Very healthy indeed. It really highlights how quickly businesses there are moving to cloud-based solutions.
Yeah.
And what's particularly interesting within North America is just the sheer scale of the U.S. market.
Right. The U.S. must be huge.
It is. It alone is projected to, almost quintuple, reaching nearly $6 billion by 2033.
$6 billion just the U.S.
Yeah. But, don't overlook Canada and Mexico. They're also showing really strong growth.
Okay.
Both have robust double-digit CAGRs. Canada's actually approaching 15%.
So it's really a continent-wide thing.
It absolutely is, driven by, mature cloud infrastructure already being in place and a strong enterprise push for digital transformation across lots of different sectors.
Okay. So moving across the Atlantic then, Europe.
Yeah.
How's it looking there?
Europe's also showing a really solid ascent. Definitely not lagging behind significantly.
The numbers look good. Their market revenue was nearly $787 million in 2021. And that's projected to reach almost $3.8 billion by 2033.
Still very strong growth.
Yeah, demonstrating a strong 14.1% CAGR. Pretty much neck and neck with North America's rate.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It shows Europe is clearly, all in on Cloud PBX too, embracing the efficiency.
So which countries are leading there?
Well, the UK market, for instance, is set to expand about fivefold, projected over $636 million by 2033.
Okay.
Germany's not far behind that, projected to grow to over $786 million.
Germany even bigger. Interesting.
Yeah. And France also shows significant expansion, over $520 million projected.
Okay.
But what's really telling, I think, is that it's not just these, the big three. We're seeing robust double-digit growth pretty much across the board.
Like where else?
Italy, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland,
Mm-hmm.
the list goes on. It really highlights this widespread understanding across the continent that Cloud PBX offers vital competitive advantages now, especially in a connected global economy.
Right. You need that flexibility to compete.
Exactly.
Now, you said something earlier. Asia Pacific, that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, while North America has maybe led the charge historically in total value,
Right.
Asia Pacific is actually leading in pure growth momentum.
Mm.
The speed of adoption there is incredible.
Okay, give me the numbers.
So from just under $885 million in 2021,
Okay.
this region is expected to reach a staggering $5 billion by 2033.
5 billion, so catching up fast.
Very fast. And look at the CAGR, 15.6%.
Yeah.
That's higher than North America or Europe.
That is impressive. This region seems poised to be maybe the powerhouse of future growth for this tech.
I think that's a fair assessment. Absolutely. China's spearheading a lot of this, expected to grow to nearly $1.5 billion by 2033. Their CAGR is around 15.8%.
Strong.
But what really stands out, is India. Truly explosive growth there. The highest TGR in the entire region.
Oh, hi.
Projected to skyrocket from under $140 million in 2021 to over $863 million by 2033. That's a CDR of 16.4%.
16.4. Wow. What's driving that in India specifically?
Well, what's insightful there is it's not just about adopting new tech, it's often about leapfrogging.
Leapfrogging, what do you mean?
Skipping the older, expensive infrastructures entirely. For many Indian businesses, Cloud PBX isn't replacing an old PBX. It's their first sophisticated communication system. They're bypassing traditional landlines altogether in many cases.
Ah, so it's a greenfield opportunity. Makes sense.
Exactly. Massive potential. And we're seeing similar accelerated expansion, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, across Southeast Asia too.
So the momentum is really region-wide there.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've covered North America, Europe, Asia Pacific. But it's not just the, let's say, traditionally dominant or emerging tech regions, right? Other parts of the world are contributing.
That's absolutely right. We're seeing significant contributions to the global growth picture from other areas too.
Like where?
South America, for example, is projected to grow from just over $221 million in 2021 to nearly $1.2 billion by 2033.
Also strong growth.
Yeah, strong key GR there too, almost 14.9%. Brazil is leading the charge there mostly.
Okay. Any others?
The Middle East is another hotbed, you could say, for Cloud PBX adoption. Yeah. Expected to reach over $725 million by 2033.
And who's growing fast there?
Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Turkey. They're seeing some of the fastest expansion rates, in that 14.9% to over 15% CAGR range.
Impressive. Even Africa.
Even Africa is significantly contributing, growing from just under $95 million back in 2021 to nearly $500 million by 2033.
Almost $500 million.
Yeah, South Africa is a regional leader there, but growth is happening across the continent. It just shows it's a truly global shift. Businesses everywhere are recognizing the benefits.
Profound benefits, yeah.
Yeah, of cloud-based communications.
So, okay, let's bring this back. What does all this mean for you listening right now? These aren't just abstract market figures floating around.
Not at all.
This widespread adoption, it isn't simply about, installing new software. It's about a fundamental transformation.
Really fundamental.
In how businesses connect, how they collaborate, how they operate on a global scale, really. When we talk about a 14-point-something% HAGR across the board, think about what that implies for your business, perhaps.
Right.
If your communication system isn't cloud-based, you're not just maybe falling behind technologically.
You're potentially missing out on fundamental efficiencies.
Yeah.
Efficiencies your competitors are rapidly adopting.
Exactly. It's becoming a competitive necessity, it seems.
I think so.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this Cloud PBX market is undergoing an exceptional global expansion.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
As digital transformation and cloud adoption become absolutely core
Central, yeah.
to modern enterprise communication, this market is just poised to revolutionize how businesses connect across geographies. It's breaking down traditional barriers.
And the key thing to remember, you're saying, is that every region,
Every single one, from the most developed economies to emerging markets. Everyone is actively contributing to this powerful growth story.
It's like a unified movement towards more agile, more efficient, more interconnected business.
Well put. That's exactly what it looks like.
So the key takeaway here seems pretty clear. We're witnessing this rapidly expanding global market, and it reflects a fundamental, probably irreversible shift in how businesses communicate.
Irreversible is likely the right word, yeah.
It's moved beyond being a niche solution. It's becoming a global standard for the modern enterprise.
Absolutely. Which leads to, some interesting thoughts about the future.
Go on.
Well, given this exceptional global expansion, this seamless global connectivity that Cloud PBX enables, how might that fundamentally change the way we even perceive the office?
Good question.
Or, workplace collaboration in the next decade?
Right. If everyone can connect seamlessly from anywhere.
Exactly. What entirely new opportunities, or maybe even new challenges, could emerge from that kind of truly borderless communication landscape?
That definitely raises some fascinating questions about the future of work itself.
Hasn't it? Something for you to think about.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, all the incredible insights, the numbers, the trends we shared today, they were based on the Cloud PBX System Market Report 2025, the global edition by Cognitive Market Research.
Great source.
It really was. We hope this deep dive helps you feel a bit more informed, maybe more connected to the pulse of global business and communication tech.
Hope so too.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the topics that intrigue you.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're all about unpacking the big topics, without drowning you in jargon. Today, we are jumping headfirst into the Cloud PBX System Market. It's evolving fast. Now, just quickly, if you're new to this term, Cloud PBX, it's basically your business phone system, but it lives online. No more clunky hardware in the closet. So our mission today, what's driving this huge growth? What are the roadblocks? And crucially, where's it all heading? Expect some, well, maybe surprising facts and hopefully a few aha moments along the way.
Absolutely. And it's genuinely striking how much this tech is changing the way businesses connect, both, inside the company and with their customers. We're not talking small tweaks here. This is a real transformation. It points to big gains in efficiency and agility that can be a real competitive advantage.
Agility, yeah, that word keeps coming up. So let's dive into those drivers. What are the big forces pushing this market forward right now?
Well, it's more than just wanting, cheaper calls. It's really a strategic shift. Companies need communication tools that can scale, yes, but are also really cost-effective.
Right, so it's not just the initial price tag of those old on-premise systems that stings. It's the constant drain, right? The maintenance, needing IT folks just for phones, the server space, even the power to cool them. It feels like a totally different, much heavier burden compared to the cloud.
Exactly. Cloud PBX is a whole different ballgame. I mean, picture a startup, maybe 5 people, suddenly growing to 500 in just a few months. A traditional system just couldn't cope, but Cloud PBX, it lets you expand smoothly. We often see companies cutting their communication costs by over 40% compared to the old setups. It's not just about saving cash, it's about building that flexibility right into how you operate.
And then there's the massive impact of how we actually work these days, the move to remote and hybrid working. It wasn't just where we worked, but how communication had to adapt. That's where VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, really became essential, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Traditional phone lines, they tie you to a desk. VoIP sends calls over the internet, like data, so your business number follows you, not the physical phone. As long as you've got internet, you're connected. And features like voicemail to email, mobile apps acting as your desk phone, unified messaging. It all keeps communication flowing no matter where your team is. I mean, just think back a few years. The idea of your sales lead taking a crucial client call from, I don't know, a coffee shop or handling support from home seemed futuristic. Now, with Cloud PBX, it's just normal. It's Tuesday.
That flexibility, that mobility, they're obviously huge advantages. But I think what sometimes surprises people is how integrated these systems can get. It's not just about making calls anymore, is it? It's about smarter calls.
Yes, exactly. It's pretty impressive how easily they hook into things like Salesforce, HubSpot, the big CRMs, and productivity tools too, like Microsoft Teams or Slack. This deep connection, it changes everything. Imagine a customer calls in. Before you even pick up, boom, their whole history pops up on your screen. Recent purchases, support tickets, everything.
Wow. That's not just handy. It fundamentally changes the customer experience. It can directly boost conversions. And for managers, Those call analytics, they aren't just numbers. They're real insights into, say, who needs more training, where the service bottlenecks are, or even spotting new customer issues early. Okay, so we've seen the strong currents pushing Cloud PBX forward, but, the real world always throws up some obstacles.
Yeah.
What kind of challenges are businesses actually facing when they think about making this switch?
Well, even with all the benefits, the cost of switching, and yeah, sometimes maintaining a cloud system can be a worry, especially for businesses watching their budgets closely. You have to think about maybe needing network upgrades, stronger security. It can be a noticeable upfront cost for some.
And what if you're a company with, really old infrastructure? I'm guessing trying to mesh this new cloud tech with older systems can be a real headache. Is it a massive overhaul sometimes?
It definitely can be. Moving from, say, old analog phone lines to a fully cloud-based VoIP system. That might mean new wiring, new network gear, and quite a bit of technical work to get that smooth, high-quality connection. It's not always just a simple switch, especially for larger companies that have built up infrastructure over decades.
Makes sense. And of course, whenever you're talking internet-based services, security, and data privacy, they have to be top of mind. Cloud PBX relies on the internet, so that naturally brings up questions. But for certain industries, it's absolutely critical, right?
Precisely. If you're handling sensitive data, think finance, legal, healthcare, you have to ensure those connections are secure and you're handling data properly, meeting regulations. Businesses in these areas are much more cautious now. They're really grilling providers on encryption, where the data is stored, disaster recovery plans, much more than they used to, and they should be.
Okay, so we've covered the drivers, we've looked at the bumps in the road, but let's talk about the exciting part of the future. The horizon seems packed with innovation. What's really catching your eye in terms of where this is all going?
I think one of the biggest things is AI, artificial intelligence. We're seeing AI-driven call analytics and even voice assistants getting baked right in. So cloud PBX systems aren't just passive pipes for calls anymore. They're becoming, well, intelligent. They can analyze the sentiment in a call, transcribe conversations automatically, even give real-time tips to agents to handle the interaction better.
Wait, so if I'm getting this right, AI isn't just automating simple tasks, it's becoming almost like a proactive assistant on the call. Can you give an example of how that might actually work?
Sure. So imagine a customer service call. The AI might pick up frustration in the caller's tone, and instantly it could suggest to the agent, maybe offer a specific discount or provide a script proven to de-escalate that kind of situation.
Well,
Or in sales, it could analyze calls that led to a closed deal, figure out the key phrases used, and then coach other agents in real time during their calls. Beyond that, AI assistants are getting better at routing calls smartly, scheduling meetings, handling those repetitive questions. It boosts productivity and makes the customer experience better by cutting wait times and solving problems faster.
that's fascinating. And alongside AI, we're also seeing this big push towards mobile solutions, BYOD-friendly setups, bring your own device. It almost feels like a change in philosophy about what the office even is.
It really is. Modern cloud PBX platforms are built so employees can use their own smartphones, their tablets as their full work phone, same extension, conference calls, transfers, everything. It fully embraces that BYOD trend. And it means you've got a truly mobile, flexible workforce that's always connected, super useful for sales teams on the move, field technicians, remote workers, anyone not tied to a desk.
And the final piece, which feels like maybe the ultimate goal here, unified communications as a service, or UKAS, and that omni-channel integration.
Yeah, UKS is really shaking things up. Businesses want one platform: voice, video, chat, meetings, all in a single interface. It creates the seamless experience, not just for employees, which is convenient, but it also makes sure customer communication is consistent. Think about it, a customer starts with a web chat, then maybe calls and sends an email. UKS lets the business see that whole journey as one conversation.
I see.
It breaks down those old communication silos. Better service, better internal teamwork. It's powerful stuff.
So let's wrap this up. What does it all mean? Well, the cloud PBX market is clearly changing the game for business communication. It's being pushed hard by the need for scalability, tools that work for remote teams, smart integrations, and really easy-to-use mobile options. Now, challenges like cost, fitting in with old systems, and obviously security, they're still there. They're real. But the innovations we're seeing, especially in AI, in unified platforms like UK and support for BYOD, they are definitely paving the way for much more dynamic, much more efficient ways for businesses to connect.
And that leaves us with a really interesting thought for you, the listener, to chew on. As these communication tools get smarter, more integrated, more AI powered, How are your own expectations about being connected going to change? Whether you're thinking as a customer or, in your professional life, how high will the bar go?
That's a great question to ponder. We really hope you found this deep dive valuable, got some good insights into this fast-moving market. Remember, all the insights we discussed today were drawn from the Comprehensive Cloud PBX System Market Report 2025, the Global Edition, by Cognitive Market Research. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.